Welcome back to the Crystal Cares Yoga channel. My name is Crystal. This is a yin class that's going to move through the whole body and leave you feeling energized. The intention is to embrace change, and with each posture we're going to go through the steps that I think lead us to a more open state of going with the flow. We're going to get started in just a second, but before we do, hit that subscribe button down below me. It's in a bright red block. It says subscribe. Yes, you. Click on it. All right. First pose will be Supta Baddha Konasana on our backs. Let your knees fall off to the sides, bringing the soles of your feet to touch. Maybe if you've got two blocks handy or two pillows, you can tuck them underneath the outer edges of your thighs if you prefer a little bit of support in those hip joints, or maybe you have pancake legs and just want to let them be free. And begin to find your breath here with your first inhale, all the way from the root through your crown. And exhale, let it go. Inhale. And exhale. So these opening breaths are to bring you as fully into this present moment as you can go. To be aware of your body and every sensation, moving around through it, pulsating through it. Letting go of any thoughts that keep you from this moment, that try to draw you away. Just bring the awareness back to your breath if you notice that happening, without judgment. Last 3 breaths here. Inhale. Feel the rise and fall of the belly. Exhale. The subtle shift of the organs. Inhale. The releasing of the hips. Exhale. The melting of the shoulders. Inhale. And the settling of the mind. Exhale. And place your palms on the outside edges of your thighs. Gently bring your knees back into the midline. And let your knees fall over to the right side. Inhale, bring them back to center. And let them fall over to the left side. Exhale. Inhale, bring them to the center. Finding that coordination of your breath to the movement. Exhale, left. So here we are beginning the process of awakening the body. Awakening the awareness of how our body is connected to our breath and how our breath is connected to the movement. Bring the knees back into center. Notice how you've started to awaken the hips and the spine, the low back. And curl yourself all the way over onto one side. Press through the palms of your hands and bring yourself up into a kneeling position, hero's pose, or Savasana. So you'll want to take a block or pillow or whatever you have nearby and place that right in between your ankles, and then you'll sit your hips back just over that block. And if this feels not so good for your knees, maybe you want to put 2 blocks under there. Find what works for you. And draw your inner thighs together, the points of your knees draw in together, and then your toes slightly flank out to the side. So if you look on either side, you can see your toes wriggling down there. And we will do one of my most favorite pranayama exercises. This is called lion's breath. So it feels like a big inhale, you fill up the whole belly, you fill up the whole chest, and as you exhale, this is where it gets fun. You open your mouth wide, you let your tongue fly out, and you let those eyeballs open up wide too, even take your gaze up to the ceiling. And this is what it looks like. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Keep that going for yourself. I know you might be thinking you feel like you look crazy. Well, maybe you do look a little silly, but the point is that this breath is going to really bring a lot of energy into the body, bring some clarity to the mind, and it also builds our self-confidence. I think that's because if you're able to do a breath like this in front of other people, then you definitely are someone with a lot of self-confidence. It's really fun. The more you do it, the more natural it feels. Let's do one more round of that lion's breath. Big inhale. Exhale. Good. You can keep that block under there if you'd like. And then lean your chest back. Walk the hands back so this feels like you're basking up in the sunshine. We're going to lean back into reclined hero's pose. So first, you have the option to stay up on the palms if that's what's working for your body, or you lower down onto the forearms. And now again, you have the option to keep that block there or not. If you want to go down to the next level onto your shoulders, I would suggest removing that block from under you. Then let your elbows slide off to the sides as you melt your chest and shoulders back into the mat. Let the arms peel off to the sides. And keep squeezing those inner thighs together, knee points touch. So stretching our quadricep muscles and our IT bands. And this class is about embracing change. And I think the very first step for that, first step is allowing myself to be present as we've started to settle into. And I think the next step is having a vision of the future, some kind of goal in your head. And this will be very individual to each one of you out there to begin to invite in a vision of your future, whether it's where you'll be later on today or next year, 5 years, 10 years from now, whatever. Just start to paint this picture. Identify the setting that you're in or the one that you want to be in. Identify who is with you in this setting. Who do you want there with you? What does it smell like? What colors do you see? Paint this picture as vividly as you can here. I believe that our conscious mind is connected to a collective mind. And the thoughts that we put into it, they do matter. So create this thought, this image, this manifestation of what you want to see in your future. And we'll take one more deep breath in our hero's pose. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Bring your elbows underneath the shoulders. Come back onto the forearms. And then walk back up to the palms. Shift over your left hip to kick that right leg long in front of you. And then shift back over the right leg to extend the left leg long. Maybe shake out the legs there. Give your legs a gentle massage. Good. And then flex through those heels, sending the toes towards the shoulders. Root through the sits bones. Let them root down into the earth. Inhale, reach the arms up. And then start to hinge forward into your forward fold, keeping a nice length through the spine. And once you've found your full length with the straight spine, then release the arms down towards the mat, and then release the weight of the head and neck. And if you'd like to, you can definitely prop yourself up on a block or pillow to rest your head. Some of my favorite yoga poses are heart-opening poses. But this pose here is actually a heart closer. But I think this is just as important to do as a heart opener, because the heart chakra is about balance. And I'd like you to bring your awareness here to your past. And think about the relationship that your past has with a heart-closing posture. To give your past a sense of closure. To be able to release attachments to it. To release holding on to thoughts or emotions or relationships that are in the past. As all things in this human experience, those are all temporary. They are meant to change and evolve. And while the past can have meaning and significance, it is not to be held on to. Take one more deep breath in this forward fold. Inhale. And exhale to release. Good. And start to roll up through the spine. Set your props off to the side. I keep checking to make sure that my camera is on because, funny story, this is the second attempt I am making at filming this particular class. The first time I did it, I went to turn off my camera and realized it was never on to start with. So I think we're good now. All right, and then from your seated position, place your palms down on your mat, shift your weight forward, let those ankles uncross behind you, and bring yourself into your tabletop, hips over knees and shoulders over wrists. We'll do some good morning cat-cow poses. Inhale, lift the head and tailbone up. Exhale, round out the spine for cat. Inhale, head and tail lift. Exhale, round it out. So this is activating the articulation and movement in our spine as well as in our core. Exhale. Let's do one more. Inhale, head and tail lift. Exhale, round out the back. Bring it back out to your neutral spine. Lift that lower belly up towards the sacrum. Hug the ribs in. And then lift your left arm up towards the ceiling. Big morning stretch. Exhale, send the left arm underneath your right arm like it's poking right through that window. And then lower down onto your cheek. If you prefer, you can place your pillow or block underneath your head for a little bit of a lift there. And then option to keep that right hand right under your shoulder, or you can extend it forward or reach it all the way behind the back. Breathing into that twist, wringing out the spine, wringing out the organs. It's a new day, so we're starting it fresh. And then bring that right hand back underneath the shoulder, press down to unwind the left arm. Inhale, another big morning stretch. Left hand back to the mat, exhale. Now we send the right arm up. Inhale, reach it up, good morning. Exhale, send the right arm through. Couple breaths here. Take the same arm variation that you did on the other side, either left arm forward or behind the back or underneath the shoulder. You might notice a different sensation between the sides. That is okay. Just breathe into it. One more breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Left hand comes back underneath the shoulder. Right arm opens up. Inhale. And float it back down to the mat. Exhale. Now leave the hips where they're at. Start to walk the hands forward. And then you melt your heart down towards the mat. And you have the option to rest your heart on a block. Or the third option, don't use a block and lower the heart all the way down. Envisioning the future, I bring my awareness to my throat chakra because this is the center of my truth. And just as our thoughts are connected and have meaning and power, as do our words. And just as you can think a dream into existence, so can you speak a dream into existence. The more you talk about what it is that you want and need, the more likely it is to come to you. And in opening this throat face, this throat chakra, we remove the fear of asking for what it is that you want or need. And let yourself ask for it. Ask for it right now. Last breath in the puppy pose. Inhale. And exhale. Lift up the heart, walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. Lift that belly back up into the spine. Extend the right heel straight back behind you so that it's at a 90-degree angle. Feel that energy straight out from the heel. And then bring the right knee towards your shoulder, stepping the foot down just outside of the hands into lizard lunge. Let the weight of your hips shift down and forward into the mat as you release the left hip flexor. And then options here. I will turn to face you. All right, so options here are to walk down to the forearms to get a really deep opening through the left hip flexor. Or if you prefer something in the middle, step the forearms onto those blocks right there. And then the next step to embracing change, I believe, is forgiveness, which isn't always an easy thing. It doesn't usually happen over the duration of one yoga pose. Sometimes total forgiveness can take years, and that's okay. But I think most of us have something that we can forgive, whether it is another person or our own selves or a particular situation. We pretty much all have something that we can lend an intention of forgiveness towards. Take one more deep breath in your lizard lunge. Inhale. And exhale. Good. And then tuck your back toes underneath you and lift the back knee up off the mat. Then turn your front toes towards the side. Then shift the back foot onto the edge, leaning into horizon pose. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see this better. So back toe tucks underneath, back knee lifts off, front toes turn to the corner, and then drop onto the edge of the back foot. Open your shoulders to the side, and your right arm can just rest down by your hip. So breathe into that outer right hip there. So I'll have a similar sensation to being in pigeon pose, just a more active way to get into it. And although forgiveness takes time, it happens in baby steps, at least having that intention of it, taking those little baby steps, opens up that much more space for us to heal. It's all a process. And it's all connected. Letting go of attachments, then opening up ourselves to forgiveness, and then allowing ourselves to heal. Bring your right hand back to the mat. Bring the legs back into parallel. Lower the left knee back down to the mat. And then sneak your right leg back into tabletop. Walk back up to the palms. And then we take it on the left side. Left heel extends straight back behind you. Left foot comes to the mat just outside of the arms. Let the hips shift down and forward. Release through the right hip flexor. And then options. Either stay on the palms, lower all the way to the forearms, or come down to forearms onto blocks. And again, we take ourselves through that cycle here of willing ourselves to forgive, allowing its process, whatever speed we need to take it. And take one more deep breath in the lizard lunge. Inhale and exhale. Tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee off the mat, then the left toes turn to the side wall. Shift onto the edge of the right foot, and then open up the shoulders to the side wall. Left arm rests down by the side, and breathe into this left outer hip muscle. Similar to the pigeon pose sensation. And allow yourself to heal. Another process that takes its time. But it's all part of this journey to embrace the changes that come. Left palm comes back down to the mat. Turn the legs back to parallel. Lower the right knee down. Send the left knee back. Walk the hands back. And then shift over either hip. Take the legs out in front of you. I'm going to move my blocks off to the side. Legs extend long. Find length through the spine. Melt each vertebrae into the mat. Feel that squeezing of that belly pulling down through the mid-back. Reach the arms up overhead. Interlace the fingertips first. Pointer fingers reaching up, and then send them up. So find that length all through the belly here, and feel the diaphragm scooping up like it's lifting up into your rib cage. This is called pond pose. So you can envision a little pond in your belly area. And flex through those heels at the bottom. Feel that energy pulling in the two directions. I could say 4 directions. very energizing and very active. This pose brings us back into the present moment. We started in the present. We released the past. We envisioned the future. And here we are back in the present moment. Inhale. Exhale. And while our thoughts and words have power to become manifestations, they don't actually happen without action. And any action always happens in the present, in the now. So here you are in this fully present and aware state of being. What is one action that you can do in the now, today, that will bring you just a step closer towards that vision that you dreamed of, that you painted? Take one more deep breath in your pond pose. Solidifying this action. Exhale. And release the arms down by your side for your final Savasana. And there you are. You are present, you are aware, you are unattached, you are ready for this day, whatever may come, and for the next. One more deep breath, inhale. And bring life back to your body. Find some movement, exhale. To bring your hands up to your heart center. It is with all my love, with all my gratitude, I bow to each of you. I pray that you all are able to find this feeling of detachment, of forgiveness, and of healing. May you all embrace this day and each day to come. Namaste. Thank you all again so much for practicing with me. If you haven't already, please subscribe to Crystal Cares Yoga. And if you liked this practice, please throw me a thumbs up, add a comment down below, and let me know what you need from your yoga practice.